So it gives me great pleasure this morning to introduce to you Yuzo Toda, who is the chairman of the Forum for Innovative Regenerative Medicine, which is a firm, which is a sister organization with whom we have a relationship, with whom ARM has a very close relationship. He is also the Senior Executive VP and Chief Technical Officer and a Director at Fujifilm. Mr. Toda, please. Welcome.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Just have a seat and I'll...
Seat? Yes.
So Mr. Toda will give us some remarks about the activities and the view from Japan about what's happening in regenerative medicine. And I thought it would be just an interesting, just a little background about sort of what's happening right now. In November of 2014, as you know, and as we heard yesterday, there's the regenerative medicine law was passed in Japan. And in that 2-year period, over that 2-year period, there have been incredible changes in Japan, an incredible movement in this industry because of this initiative started by Preti. We don't intend to really dive into that today. We've been over that a number of times, but what's happening in Japan is influencing everyone around the world who's in regenerative medicine. It's really been an absolutely amazing, couple of years. And I think I put up here 2 items that just what my company is doing, but there are other companies that are doing either similar activities or precisely the same thing. And that we have a global collaboration with Hitachi Chemical Corporation where we have licensed technology to the Hitachi group, and they will be setting up a facility in Japan and then throughout Asia, and they're establishing a Japanese-based CDMO to serve all of the Asian markets. This has also provided a footprint in the United States for a PCT-Hitachi collaboration to establish a global business. Companies from all over the world, from Europe and the United States particularly, but all over the world have now looked at this opportunity in Japan, along with Japanese companies, and said, well, how can we take advantage of that? And the perspective that we're bringing right now is that Caladrius Biosciences, which is the parent company to my company, has a product that is sitting at PMDA. It's been approved for a phase 2 trial to begin a trial that is a conditional approval trial. So we had the opportunity also of not just working with a very large Japanese company in this space and trying to understand a little bit about what they're thinking, but also what the regulators are thinking and how this is all positioned. So that's just a sort of a background about where I personally am coming from on this, but I think at this point I'd like to just turn it over to Toda-san, who will give us a view from the Fujifilm and from the firm side about what is happening in Japan right now. And then we'd love to invite questions from the audience. I have a few questions I can get things started with, should we have the time. Toda-san.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Also, thank you, Robert-san, to introduce me. I'm very honored to have a chance to present regarding regenerative medicine, especially a basic idea how to approach. This is very important before generating a new approach. So therefore, I'd like to share with you first regenerative medicine. What is our idea? What is the definition of regenerative medicine? That is the most important part of my presentation first. And also I'd like to share with you the status of RM industry in Japan. Also, and then I would like to touch upon the kind of collaboration with ARM and also rest of the world. This is very important because this is really, really new science based. So we should bring our scientific result into the patient. We need a lot of obstacle and bottleneck to overcome. So I'd like to share with you and how to overcome. I want to share kind of common view. Okay, now I'd like to start. My title of the presentation is Regenerative Medicine is revolutionizing medical treatment. Okay, this is first. Second, please. Oh, I had to do myself.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, this is my content, environmental change in medical treatment, and also a definition of RM. And the third one is revolutionize medical treatment by cell science. And fourth is role of industry and conclusion from the industry. First, environmental change in medical treatment. So as you know, because of super-aged society, we are now facing two obstacles, very serious problems. One is health expenditure. Economical impact, social impact is so huge. And also, unmet medical needs. We have a lot of technology improvement, but still very serious unmet medical needs remain because of super-aged society. Therefore, we need new approach. Regenerative medicine is one of the most powerful tools to solve problem. Also, regenerative medicine, a new tool, lead us preemptive medicine. Be proactive. This is kind of idea. This is very famous graph, changing global aging rate, as you know, in the US and Europe, and also Asia. This is not really happy trend, but Japan is most typical super-aged society. Therefore, we have some responsibility to break through. This year, more than 21%, over 65 years old, is called super-aged. Not only Japan, also Italy, and Germany, France is here. But more seriously, in Asia, Korea and China, their curvature is more sharper than Japan. So this is one aspect of the super-aged. And the second one is so-called unmet medical needs. Here, unmet medical needs. No satisfaction area is cancer, and also diabetes, and also dementia. So this part is still, we have a lot of problem to overcome. Also, negative impact in the budget, social cost is very, very serious. So therefore, we need a new approach. Looking at kind of overview. Until so far, for instance, small molecule drug and also biologics, this is a kind of major area for treatment. And cell therapy and regenerative medicine here, most likely, not all, but partly also tissue, organ regeneration will come. But anyhow, this is kind of trend. And there are, until so far, this is a small molecule part is mainly simple target based upon infectious disease model. And also biologics is, we think this is the same approach, most a part of it, kind of local battle to hit target. Due to this approach, we have still unmet medical needs. Therefore, we need to utilize this science. That means biocontrol system, immune, gene, and tissue. And these, in one word, I think this is kind of microenvironment control is really necessary, not hitting one single target. Of course, still we have remaining problem, even in infectious disease area, HCV, HIV, also a very new influenza. Also, we have to take into consideration bioterrorism. So therefore, first here is still we should develop new drug. But also, this area is not simple local battle, but we have to, this so-called second generation antibody. One is armed antibody, but single attack, but influence is so big, so-called antibody, also PD-1, controlling immune system. But also ultimate therapy is utilizing cell. Cell is self-responding. Cell is kind of controlling microenvironment. So this is what I would like to stress. Then, until so far, etiology is a single target, therefore cure to attack target. And also, our multiple and uncertain case of etiology, we have to do some symptomatic treatment. Then, now and future, I already explained in the previous slide. So new drug and utilizing immune system and also interactive treatment to control abnormal environment using cell science. So this leads us cure completely, and also we get a new tool to do preemptive medicine. Okay, definition of regenerative medicine. So we say regenerative medicine and cell therapy, but this is one of the application area. Core technology is cell science-based medicine. So based upon cell science-based medicine, cell therapy, and regenerative medicine, also tissue engineering, and right side is cell robot. This I named it. But we need new technology or fusion of cell science and engineering. So engineering technology is really, really important to maximize cell performance. So this is a kind of image. Next is also same idea, but a different expression. Here is a kind of degree of the fabrication of degree of engineering, and this is kind of similarity of living environment body. So this is also kind of progress of the short-term and mid-term and long-term, I believe. But and also two ways, therapy and drug discovery. Okay, this is a new approach of medical treatment. So left side is kind of a ratio of the healthy and also till a sick person. After healthy, half healthy, and sickly person, and finally sick. This is Japanese statistics just 5 years ago also. 50%, more than 50% sick, but nearly 50% is not really health. So this is kind of a border of the disease until so far. For instance, a social system cannot help before disease, before sick. Insurance cannot pay for prevention. But anyway, this is a kind of a curve towards beyond the cure. So in that sense, we believe regenerative medicine expand cure area because of the essential treatment. But also, if we utilize in proper way, regenerative medicine is expand healthy lifespan. Using this technology, also we can establish preemptive medicine. Of course, in terms of early detection, also early intervention, we need more new technology development. But triggering by regenerative medicine technology, we are now stepping proactive approach, also including retroactive approach. So, revolution of medical treatment using cell science. This is one of the examples. This data from Fujifilm laboratory. This is diabetes case. We combined not only cell, but also micro piece of the matrix. This is rather big lump sum of cell. And this is implant into the body and self-responding to the blood glucose level. This is really one of the good examples, cell mouse level, but this is one of the examples of the performance of regenerative medicine. Also, this is a kind of summary of the existing cell therapy products, autologous and allologous. So still mainly here, but we think in terms of cost and quality control, allogenic approach is kind of ultimate goal, I think. Next one is, I want to touch upon drug discovery tool as a cell engineering. As you know, this is, I don't have enough time to explain, but anyhow, finally utilizing a cell, and we can, plus engineering technology, we can make kind of cell robot. This is functionally our not kind of a human shape, but kind of here, multiple organ system of drug discovery. Utilizing this system, we can find a more appropriate drug. Also, this is one of the trial estimation. This is the drug development stage. That, until so far, we utilize a different type of animal and P1, P2, phase, P3. So from the preclinical start, success yield is 11%, and total money is 900 million in average. And also it took 10 to 15 years. But if we utilize properly this kind of cell robot, we can increase the success ratio yield 55%, and cost is just 20%, and period of development is just 1/3. This is really big opportunity also for drug discovery and development. So this is one of the examples, CDI, our subsidiary companies, using hepatocyte to find, optimize HCV treatment, and also plus engineering technology, then realize cell robot by cell science and engineering. This is one of the examples. Okay, then almost last, this is also a request from Preti-san. What type of collaboration with small business and big business? This is left side is research, and right side is market. In between, there's a big gap we have to fill in from search and business strategy and regulatory approach and manufacturing and marketing. So this is really, I have no time to mention in detail, but especially also for regulatory part, because of the new science, we have a lot of things to do. Not only academia, not only industry. Also, we have to collaborate with regulatory and the governmental organization. Anyhow, in that sense, eventually, the role and the responsibility of small science and big science is very clear. We need industrial cooperation, especially in this area, new cell science area. Even small laboratory can generate a big discovery. So in that sense, but due to small organization, they need kind of collaboration with big industry. This is one of the idea. Also, this is really needed. So in that sense, our firm, our industrial organization, organizing kind of course, open innovation within a firm. Our members already more than 200. So from small business and big business, and also there are a lot of multifunctional organizations together in our firm. So therefore, internal kind of open innovation is possible, but also we need external kind of open innovation. Therefore, we establish kind of reception organization here, so-called RMIT, and not only organization you can contact from abroad, of course. Then already activity was started less than 2 years, but already more than 100 contacts are made, and we introduce to match the good kind of collaboration company. And also, quite recently, we organized kind of regenerative medicine crossroad in Tokyo. We have already 2 meetings organized, and the third one will come soon, February, next week, or next year. So this is also kind of a good meeting, organizing for meeting together. And not only a meeting, but also we already established Life Innovation Center very close to Haneda Airport. This is kind of a showcase. Already nearly more than 10 shops are open by individual member company. So we seek for a kind of a one-stop solution. You can experiment using this center, and also you can find the good collaboration. This is also our trial. Also, as Warner-san already explained in the beginning of today's meeting, kind of pan-worldwide collaboration with already tried and getting improved. For instance, US, thanks to ARM and also CCRM, Canada, we have already collaboration. Also Europe, Sweden and UK, and Asian Pacific, Korea, Australia is already done. And also there are many collaboration will come soon because of regulation and standard. We have to harmonize. Otherwise, we cannot bring the scientific result into the patient. Okay, this is my last slide. I'd like to confirm again, to bring scientific result into the market, into the patient. In other words, to improve quality of life of the people, we need real collaboration. Academia, industry, and hospital, of course, regulatory, governmental organization. We need real open innovation to get to reach goals. This is my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Toda. You mentioned a number of times that we didn't give you enough time, and you're right, but that's a microcosm of the entire industry. We don't have much time.
Yeah.
And we have a tremendous amount that we need to do. So I think I have a couple of questions I'd like to ask, but I really would like to open up to the audience. And if there's any questions people have for Mr. Toda, please raise your hand. I'm having trouble seeing you're running. That must mean there's okay, good. All right, good.
Over here. So I'm wondering, this is an excellent talk, and I'm interested in the prevention area. And I'm wondering what you see as a way of approaching the underlying cause of nearly all degenerative diseases, which would be aging.
So are you looking at any anti-aging technologies?
Yeah.
Not anti-aging, but aging as the underlying cause of disease.
Yeah. So recently, I don't utilize anti-aging. Kind of successful aging
exactly.
is better because the.
I totally agree. Yeah.
I hope so. Anyhow, the cell science, through the cell science, we can get some living of life mechanism. Therefore, we have some tool to be proactive. Then, kind of prevention or successful aging is kind of new domain for focusing. That's what I'd like to stress. But of course, what part and what technology, etc., is next agenda. But anyhow, this is really revolutionary. Looking at cell itself, we can estimate our life. Then why don't you utilize this one for productive approach? This is prevention or control or.
As we've spoken about the small company versus big company and
yes.
the Japanese approach, and even to this question,
yeah, okay.
Around the world, as you look around at this industry, it's predominantly a small company
yes.
exercise.
Yes.
With some big companies involved and been involved for some time, and some getting involved now, and it's moving more into the big companies.
Yes,
but in Japan, it seemed almost immediately. There have been small companies in Japan working for some time,
yes.
but since this explosion, it's been mostly big. And one of the points you make is that this is an engineering approach. I mean, maybe that's why.
Yeah.
So I was curious about something that typically when I look at a development of a product,
yes.
getting all of this robotic and automation and engineering done ahead slows things down, but it may make a better product, but it could slow things down. And you make the point that you think that will speed things up and reduce the cost.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about that and how the big company approaches that? Yeah.
In the past, also, we can learn from the history that is antibody drug, pharmaceutical. That is, as you know, the antibody is mainly triggered by small company, but big company merged right now. So this is kind of gradation, small molecule and antibody and now cell. So in cell part is more complicated and more systematic approach is needed in comparison with antibody. For instance, in a small laboratory you can make or you can find a new mechanism of the cell. That's okay. But how do you assure the quality? How do you manufacture under GMP conditions? So complicated steps is needed to go to industry. Therefore, for instance, CDMO-like organization is really necessary. For instance, idea is generated.
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
Yes, yes, really. So in that sense, not only end product manufacturing, but CDMO is probably most likely, I think, kind of major role. So this is one of the big brick of the bridge construction. This is one of the idea, of course. Also quality assurance. We need a more precise and effective quality assurance method. So in this cell therapy case, cell areas, quality assurance is really we need a big effort right now. But how do we overcome in efficient way?
Okay, well, we have the whole world working on it together, so that's a wonderful thing. So any other final questions? We've got about a minute left, I think. Or actually, we're a minute over. Bethany just gave me. So thank you very much. Mr. Toda, thank you. And thank you all for attending this morning.